All right, let's dive into one of the most dramatic, most cataclysmic images in the entire Bible. Seriously, it's a vision that has fueled countless end-of-the-world movies and books, a picture of total, physical annihilation. But what if we've been reading it all wrong?
And every island fled away, and the mountains were not found. Just let that sink in for a second. You can practically feel the ground shaking under your feet, right? You can almost see coastlines just disappearing, and whole mountain ranges crumbling into nothing. It is the very definition of apocalyptic.
For a lot of us, this verse paints this terrifying picture of the physical world literally coming apart at the seams. It's like a scene from a disaster movie, where the very geography of our planet gets completely undone. But hold on, let's just pause and ask a really important question here. What if the writer of Revelation, John, wasn't describing a geological event at all? What if he was using this incredibly powerful symbolic language to describe a massive shift in cosmic authority? A fundamental shift in power.
Okay, to really figure this out, we have to start where any good investigation does, with the original words themselves. Let's take a look at the specific Greek words John used because they tell us a lot.
So the force of the original Greek here is, wow, it's striking. The word we translate as fled away is apollonto, and that doesn't just mean they moved. It means they were destroyed or utterly perished. And for the mountains, the phrase is ouch huatheson, which means were not found. This implies a total, complete disappearance, like they were just erased from existence.
So you see, the crucial point is that this is not the language of relocation. This is the language of finality, of an absolute and irreversible end. Whatever these islands and mountains are, their end is total.
Okay, so if it's not literal islands and mountains, then what is being so completely and utterly destroyed? Well, this is where we need to plug into the symbolic language that's used all throughout the Bible's prophetic writings.
In the Bible's symbolic dictionary, you could say that islands often represent things that stand apart, that are isolated. They're these strongholds of human rebellion, the proud, independent nations and even individuals who think they can exist totally separate from God's authority.
And mountains? Well, mountains are even bigger. They represent the colossal structures of human power. We're talking kingdoms, empires, governments, the entire systems of law and pride that seem so permanent and immovable in our world.
And this isn't some new idea that John just invented for the book of Revelation. No way. This symbolism is woven all through the Old Testament. The prophet Daniel talks about a kingdom becoming a great mountain. Isaiah, Nahum, and Micah all use this exact imagery of mountains shaking, moving, and melting away to describe worldly powers collapsing before God.
So if mountains and islands are actually symbols for worldly kingdoms and rebellious powers, when did they vanish and flee away? The argument here points to one single decisive moment in all of human history, the cross.
Check out this incredible contrast. It paints the picture of the cosmic drama perfectly. Remember in the desert when Satan takes Jesus up on a high mountain and offers him all the kingdoms of the world? All he has to do is compromise. Well, Jesus refused. But then, just a short time later, on the cross, he didn't accept those kingdoms as a gift from Satan. He took them by force, by conquest.
Jesus actually explained his own mission in a very similar way. He said you can't just walk into a strong man's house and take all his stuff. It's impossible, not unless you deal with the strong man first. You have to bind him.
And that is precisely what happened at Calvary. The strong man, Satan, was bound. His authority was shattered. And his house, which is all the world's systems of power, the very mountains and islands of human empire and rebellion, it was plundered. Their ultimate authority was stripped away forever.
So what does this all lead to? It leads to a brand new reality that was established in that moment. The result of this spiritual conquest wasn't just some small victory. It was a total, complete transfer of power.
See, the victory Jesus won wasn't a temporary thing. It established a permanent, total, and irreversible shift of all authority, both in the spiritual realm and here on earth. The old rulers were deposed, period.
And we don't have to guess about this. After his resurrection, Jesus himself declared the outcome in the clearest possible terms. He said, "All power, not some of it, but all of it, is given unto me in heaven and in earth." I mean, that's the victory speech. That is the declaration of the new king.
So now, let's circle all the way back. When we read Revelation 16:20 again, every island fled away and the mountains were not found, we're not looking at a future weather report from the end of time. We are reading a dramatic, symbolic declaration that every single kingdom, every power, and every authority has been spiritually toppled and vanquished by the finished work of Jesus on the cross.
This whole interpretation leaves us with a profound, final thought to chew on. If the mountains of earthly power were spiritually conquered and had their ultimate authority ripped away 2,000 years ago, what does that mean for how we view governments, institutions, and power itself in our world today?